China is a country with an authentic history that dates back to about 23 centuries before the birth of Christ, and it has often been referred to as the sleeping giant of Asia. But in modern times, it has been awakened with a political upheaval that has shattered her foundations to the breaking point. This is Peiping, or Peking, whichever you prefer to call it. But to the Orthodox Chinaman, it is the imperial city of old China. Here at the Central Railroad Station, we learn that the first railroad tracks were laid in China in 1876, and they covered a distance of only 12 miles from Shanghai to Wusun. The government was soon obliged to rip out the tracks to appease the superstitious clamor of the people. Trouble and strife, however, have since taught the Chinese the value of a country's railway system. China was a civilized nation when the rest of the countries of the Western Hemisphere were inhabited by barbarians, and through much of its history of old dynasties, Peiping was the capital city and the home of emperors. But in 1928, when the nationalists captured Peiping, they immediately transferred the capital and the center of government to Nanking. In the crowded streets, life keeps company with death, and funerals like this may be seen at any hour of the day. The fact that the Chinese consider death more important than life accounts for the apparent lack of grief at this funeral. The deceased has been provided with paper representations of food, clothes, money, and everything that he is supposed to need in his life beyond the grave. We can understand this philosophy of life and death when we see the pitiful plight of the poorer classes. And it is even more pathetic when we realize that about 1/5 of the world's total population lives in China.